Hey YouTube, rollback for Blazblue Cross Tag Battle is finally here. This is one of my favorite fighting games of all time and one I've had a lot of fond memories of, such as this trophy. So I wanted to share some of what I've learned. Today we're going to discuss what new players need to know to improve in this game. Timestamps in the description, let's get started. So first, let's talk about button configuration. Honestly, for your 5 standard buttons, you can use whatever you want. The things I do recommend though is setting macros, especially if you have 8 buttons. If you play on pad or 8-button stick, you want to make sure to use macros. And the macros that I recommend are the simple air dash macro, the reversal action macro, and the throw macro. So use the air dash macro just for more consistent air dashes. You can also press AB, but I find the air dash macro a lot easier. And it lets you do stuff like this, and you get throw baits and that sort of thing. So in general, any game that has an air dash macro, please use it. If you're mashing DP, it's a lot easier with 1 button, so you don't get an accidental jab or something like that. And we'll talk about why that's important later in the guide. And I also use the throw macro. There's like a weird quirk that if you mistime the throw slightly, you can sometimes get another jab. So when you're tick grabbing, especially, which means a normal into a grab, it's a lot easier to use the throw macro. When you're just doing throw in neutral, it's pretty easy. But for some reason, tick grabs, it's a lot easier to use the macro. All right, so let's talk about team building. There's a saying in the BBTAG community that synergy is more important than tier. Let me show you why this is important. So Mitsuru Akihiko is considered a really good team. One of Mitsuru's best, actually. And the reason is because Mitsuru gets everything she wants. Mitsuru wants to be able to do joint into assist and have it combo. See how that combo? Mitsuru also wants to be able to do this and have it combo. So that's a 50-50 after a blocked assist, go into GB and you get a full combo. Now take for example this team, Blake Mitsuru. So if Blake Mitsuru tries to do the same thing, that doesn't combo. So that's already one bad thing about this team. The other bad thing is joint into assist. That also doesn't combo. So it's very important to pick a team that synergizes well. I have a team building guide that I put down in the description below. A little bit dated, but all the advice still holds up. And then once you pick your 2 characters, you want to learn a basic bread and butter for each combo. Every character has a normal bread and butter that they can do solo. This is going to be the most important combo you learn. Each character has one, so learn that, right? And then once you do that, you need to focus on your game plan. To do this, let's talk about how to use your assists. You have 3 assists, and generally they are the same for each partner, but there's some exceptions. So your back plus assist is what's called a 4P. It's best as like an anti-air reversal. You can jump in and then call assist, and then if they're caught blocking or they try to counter attack, then the 4P will hit. It does have some invincibility, but not full invincibility, so do need to be a little careful. Your 5Ps are typically fast forward advancing moves with either a lot of block stun or a lot of hit stun. So if this forward advancing move hits, I can get a full combo. And then your 6P is usually like a projectile or some forward advancing move, right? So every character kind of has these. You're going to want to be able to use all assists, right? So for example, 6P, if you're going to use assist full screen, you want to use the 6P as opposed to the 5P and 4P. This also brings us to one of the most important concepts in BBTAG meter management. So because the assists and mechanics such as crossburst are so strong, you want to save your assist meter, the blue bar at the bottom. When you call assist, when you're not doing anything, it doesn't waste any meter. So for example, calling Blake 5P doesn't waste any meter. But let's say I'm whiffing a 2A and you do assist. Your meter but doesn't come back for a while. And while your meter is gone, you can't call assist. And when you don't have full meter, you can't cross, right? And if you do CC cross combo, you don't have the full duration. So very important to keep that meter. Obviously, you can do assist when you're not calling anything, but a very common strategy, and why team synergy is important, of course, is to do a move plus an assist. And if you do the move and assist at the same time, so for example, Mitsuru 236A plus assist, it doesn't cost any meter. So very important. Blake can do very similar things. For example, just to show another character, she can do her 5B plus Mitsuru 6P at the same time, right? So experiment with your team, figure out what works best, but that's one of the best ways to get an assist, cover the assist, and get it out without causing meter. All right, so one of the most common mistakes beginner players make is they'll have a character like Mitsuru on the right with a lot of red health. You don't regenerate red health if your character's on the screen, so you want to make sure you tag them out. So make sure you manage your character's health because you're effectively letting your characters live. And when you have 2 characters on the screen, you're way stronger than just having 1. You really don't want to go down a character in this game. So obviously you can just raw tag That's the most obvious, and you see the red health regenerate. You know, you can do cross raid, which is you just mash the auto combo and then get your character out. So another really strong option to get your character out. So you can do DHC, but you can also just cross combo and get him out this way. And when you cross combo and switch out your assist and you don't do anything with the assist, your assist gets out safely. And then another important thing to remember is if your opponent isn't regenerating red health and you are, play passively just to get that health advantage. All right, so let's talk about push block. A few things you need to know about push block. One, use it a lot, right? So while that wasn't a punish, you can force the opponent to structure their pressure differently. And you need to know what button to press after. You know, for example, someone like Blake can just press 5B, but as a Mitsuru player, you want to do droid plus assist, for example. Make sure you take your advantage after block stun. So let's say the opponent calls the Yumi assist. You guys will see this a lot. Yumi's a very cheap and easy character to learn. So this is a lot of block stun you get put in. Right, and then Mitsuru can do whatever she wants. And you can push block this at the very end, but that doesn't really do anything, right? So what you want to do is actually push block the beginning of this assist, and then you can jump out of the rest. So try to exploit holes in your opponent's offense like that to get out. Another important concept to understand is burst timing. So unlike other games, burst in this game is pretty strong because a burst on hit gives you a knockdown advantage. And you also have essentially infinite burst in the round because it only requires 2 bars of the cross gauge. And see, you can get a meaty 2A, and yeah, burst is very good, but you have to be very careful with burst. So for example, if you're bursting a grounded string, and by the way, if you want to test all these burst things out, if you press the reject guard to a number, this is the number of hits the dummy will burst on. So I'll set the dummy to burst on hit 2. You can actually jump cancel any grounded normal. Well, most characters can jump cancel grounded normals. And then you can get a full punish on the burst, right? So you don't want to burst grounded normals generally. So let's wait till we're in the air. So the other thing is, like, see there, I can't jump cancel to bait out the burst. However, if you have an assist available, you can call the assist in when they're bursting and get a full punish. So as you can see, the assist punishes the burst. So if you're bursting and you see the opponent has assist meter and they haven't used an assist yet, because you can only use assist once per combo, don't burst. And also, if you want to beat like anyone new to the game, practice this. Again, you can practice it just doing exactly what I did, set the opponent to reject guard and just press the timing. It's actually not that hard. Another thing you can do, let's say the character is very low health. If I'm afraid they're going to burst, I can go straight into super. And that way I don't have to worry about burst and they're dead. So counterplaying burst is one of the key fundamentals in this game. One last section, we're going to talk about input quirks. There's a lot of things you can do in this game to make your execution easier. For some reason, let's say you're trying to DP a gap. So sometimes you might just get push block because, again, it's the same input. If you want to make sure you don't get push block and you actually get a DP, or you don't know where the gap is, right, because they're doing like some crazy sandwich pressure, you can actually hold down and mash DP and it won't give you push block. So you saw how the input came out like 12 times, no push block, but then when there was the gap, the DP automatically came out. Very useful technique to have. A couple other things. If you want a DHC, which means just do one super into another super, and you want to get ASAP, just hold down the button. No need to time it. You can literally hold it down. The same thing with activating resonance. You can literally just hold down the button and you'll get it right away. And don't forget to delay entry. All you do is hold the button down. Makes their incoming mix-up a lot worse. Let me show you what that looks like. See how I hold the button? See how long she takes to come out? Make sure you're doing that. And then, yeah, you can hold resonance and you can at least get resonance out safely. You can also do the same thing for assist and block strings. So here I'm gonna hold down 9's 4P and it's gonna come out when there's a gap. Of course, sometimes it's not the best and they might get hit, but with really fast 4Ps, like for example, rubies, it's a very good strategy. And one last input quirk. So for some reason, when you do an active switch, which is when you switch to this character, it's actually a negative edge input, which means that when you switch to a character, it's not actually when you press the button, but it's actually when you release it. So check out my inputs, and you saw how late the active switch happened because it's actually when I released the button. So not something you need to know as a new player, but it allows you to time your active switches even better for better pressure and better mix-up. So, hope that was helpful, guys. As always, if you appreciate the content, you made it this far, consider like, sharing, and subscribing to the video. It really helps out the channel, and I wanted to see people play this game. I'm really excited because, you know, rollback, and I really like this game. So, my favorite games of all time. As always, thanks for watching, and if you have any additional comments, leave them down in the comments section below. Have a great day.